Stay still, Keith. Whoa!
12 years ago, me nana was in the old hospice, and the care she got was amazing. Just the amount of volunteers in the hospice as well, giving up their time. Obviously, a lot of people have in common that they've lost a loved one. So that was 12 years ago, and then recently, my granddad passed away in there as well. Just the care around the clock. They were so accommodating with all the family. And just made his time at the end really, really special.
So at the beginning of the year, Anth got in touch with us and asked if I would become an ambassador for the hospice, and it was something I didn't have to think twice about. I jumped straight at it. We've got quite a family history with the hospice. Back in 2012, my cousin, who was only 25 at the time, sadly passed away. And he was looked after his last few weeks of his life over at the Monk Wearmouth Hospital. And then in 2015, my granddad was looked after by the community team in his final few days of his life. And then little did we know when I signed up to be an ambassador that my uncle would be receiving end-of-life care just back in June. So yeah, we've got a strong family connection with the hospice, and I just wanted to do whatever I could to help promote the hospice and hopefully raise some vital funds. We didn't really know what the role would entail when we first kind of sat down and talked about it. Anth had a few ideas in his head, but we never really knew what it would play out. Obviously, the first thing that we wanted to do was promote it using social media and just using kind of my name within the region to put it forward. If I can help raise the profile and raise a few more bits of money so that we can provide a few more services here in the hospice, things like complementary therapy and all that kind of stuff, and just make the final few days of people's lives a little bit more comfortable for them and their relatives. It's kind of the main part of why I put my name to the hospice and try and raise the funds.
I head up the corporate relationships, the challenge events, and all digital marketing as well as getting involved in a whole host of other things, including Benedict Bear. But don't tell anyone. So last October, 17th to the 25th of October, we took a team of 24 fundraisers across to trek the Great Wall of China. The guys did amazing. They raised over £80,000, which was unheard of. It's a record amount of money for us on any trek, so the guys did really, really well. Across the trek, we trekked every day between 3 to 9 hours. It was a huge day for some of the guys and really, really challenging, doing up to 15-mile days as well. So it was pretty tough, but the guys really stuck in. There was great camaraderie throughout, and we're really, really proud of all of Team Benedict. Yeah, raising money for St Benedict's Hospice is really, really important for many, many reasons. The main reason, of course, is it allows us to fund many of the services that we offer here, whether that be the outpatient services, the inpatient services out in the community, as well as a whole host of other things that we do here to provide the best for our patients and staff as well. Yeah, there's lots of ways that people can get involved with and help us to raise more money. You can get involved in a number of challenge events, whether that's running the Great North Run, taking part in a Tough Mudder, trekking one of our huge charity treks we have. For example, we're going to Peru in 2021. There's also lots of little things you can do, whether that's having a cake bake sale, whether that's maybe shaving your hair off, getting in a bath of beans, millions and millions of things. But if you do want to get involved, just please give the fundraising team a call. It was just 2 years ago, we only had to raise £400,000 a year. This year alone, we're looking to raise £1.7 million, which we're well on course to do. It's really important for young people to help us because we tend to have an older supporter base, and what we really want to do is engage with young people across the community and tell them a little bit about what we do. There's a lot of myths that we need to bust with regards to hospices. And to do that, we want as many young people as possible involved. We'll get them involved, we'll get them to come down, have a look around, see what we do. and those guys can then follow through with their schools, with their colleges, with their universities, and hopefully they'll be supported for life.
I've worked the hospice for 35 years and now I volunteer, so it must be a really good place to work, mustn't it? If I've worked for 35 years, it means a heck of a lot to me to see patients getting the treatment what they deserve and what everybody's entitled to. A good, a life and a good death at the end. And that's why I have worked for so long. I volunteer on the reception side, so I meet and greet people, because when they first come in, people is very frightened and nervous. So I try to make them at ease as best I can. And I don't realise what you're doing it at the time. But then when they come back and, they're just they've got this is about everybody mind on the hospice who works on. Everybody who works on the hospice is just absolutely fabulous.
Myself and Media Savvy got involved with supporting St Benedict's Hospice last year and ultimately going to China and trekking some of the Great Wall. Initially because my wife's granddad passed away in the hospice the year before, and she really wanted to give something back, as well as auntie and uncle, and I kind of got dragged into it, but I was more than happy to do something like that. My role in the trek informally was cameraman, photographer, and we kind of shot a short documentary of the whole process just for a little bit of publicity, but I was there kind of representing myself and our family as well as Media Savvy as well. I think it's very important for young people, old people, any people to get involved with fundraising for really valuable causes, especially causes like St Benedict's. The financial burdens on a place like St Benedict's just gets more and more each year, and without the help of volunteers and fundraisers and donators, organisations like St Benedict's won't be able to survive that much into the future, because the financial strains put on them is just getting greater and greater every year. So it's absolutely important for people of all ages and all backgrounds to get involved and help them continue to do the great work that they've done for many years now.
So right now we're at the end of the wall. Honestly, today's been another tough challenge. Every day is a challenge for these guys. 1,000 steps they all walked up the day. Not one of them stopped. All kept going, and they made it 1,000 steps. Fantastic stuff. So yeah, now's the end, and it's quite emotional. We've just raised a toast to those, in memory of those we've lost. It's been some fantastic big hugs going around, some big kisses, lots of smiley faces, and a cheeky little champagne. So cheers, everybody.
Every single penny counts, so please keep that money coming in.